I only really worked on small projects at the beginning of practice, and so that was doing everything. The initial moves, all the subsets of moves that you make. I mean, working down to the, there's the scale of the site, there's the scale of the building, and then there's the scale of the hand, the detail. And the beauty of small projects is that you can spend a lot of time on all those many aspects of those scales. As a young architect, an emerging designer, you're still developing, you're still learning. So starting with something relatively small, but something that also can be quite complex, helps you deal with complexity, at a certain scale. And I think prepares you for complexity at a much larger scale. Again, you're developing your formal sensibilities, your spatial sensibilities, and your material sensibilities. I think for me as well, the smaller projects were the beginnings of the development of a language of architecture, one's own language, how you began to speak through architecture. When you say first project, I tend to think of it not as the most benign or banal thing, but the thing where you started to see a transition from where you were to where you wanted to be. The Tower House began rather inauspiciously. Someone kept calling me, like, please call James at 1-800 blah, blah, blah. And so I just didn't bother to call back. I didn't want to be bothered with it. And I had 3 or 4 of these messages in my box at the university. And then one day, there was a knock on my door at my office at the university, and there stands James Keenan, who was a fellow I had met at several receptions, whose girlfriend was our development director. And he had a book under his arm, which was a book on tree houses. I would like to do a tree house, but not just any tree house. I want to do a tree house you could literally live in. Well, if we can't do a tree house literally, what about a house in the trees? And it'll be a tower house, and yet it will kind of act to reveal something about the trees too. It was conceived in profile. There was something very anthropomorphic about the shell. And then here was really about the tree. So there's something very consciously man-made here, culture-made, and something that is more of an analog to nature here. The height of the wood marks the mature height of the surrounding trees. So the surrounding trees won't get any higher. And then the metal really is what sticks up above the trees. The footprint is 16.8 by 16.8 on center. And then as you get to the living areas, you can see it cantilevers to the west. It grows just to give you some more space. Our idea was to develop a white oak thin lattice that would wrap around the base of the structure to create a kind of room, a very tall room, 50 feet high, that really contains the stair as it moves up. But it's open to the elements, but it's also enclosed, so it's neither interior nor exterior, sort of an in-between space. This is really a structure that's about view and the act of viewing. It's really about the horizon, this extension of the horizon in a 360-degree view, panorama in all directions. So the distance from your eye to the floor and your eye to the ceiling is essentially equal. And that creates an intensification of the horizon line in all directions. So no matter how you move in this space, the horizon moves with you, and that creates, again, a kind of a wonderful visual and perceptual effect, and is contrasted, let's say, with the upper level here, the sky court, which has controlled views to the landscape, but really is about that view to the sky. That, to me, was started to give a sense of purpose to what I'd been doing. I purposely moved to Arkansas because of someone like Faye Jones, who had proven that you could do high-quality work pretty much anywhere. So I think a smaller project, you can win it at several different levels.